Well. Welcome back to the Toybarian channel. This is actually a very fun and exciting second official video. It's been a while since the last one around Masters of the Universe, but this time I am making this video more for my classroom than for, I would say, the general public. But anybody who wants to watch can, and I hope you enjoy. I'm rocking my A+ College Ready shirt from our course of study objectives, our standards in Alabama, the whole nine, put together in what I think is like the greatest education tool that I've used as a teacher myself. But before we get started into A+, we're doing a little get to know ourselves activity and get to know the teacher. And so I'm making this video to review these wonderful trick or treat rubber duckies. I am a reviewer for Walmart. This came in the mail today, and guess what? Halloween's coming. School just started. It's only, the 11th of August, but never too soon for Halloween. So, when you open up these ducks, you will see a box full of goodness. But before we get into that, a few little things here for my students. I am Mr. Byers, as you know. You met me today. And for the rest of you, I am the Toybarian, or author James Matthew Byers, which is sort of where we're going to start this little video. So when talking about all about me, this is to model what you're going to be doing in class today. Well, when you watch this video, it will be today. I'm filming it the night before class. So we're going to kind of learn a little bit about Mr. Byers, aka the Toybarian. And in a little bit, we will have a tour of my toy collection. But first, a little bit about who I am. As I knock over a toy, and not a problem. It was Air Razor from Rise of the Beast Transformers, and oh no, did she break? No, she did not break. I hope she did not break. Oh no. Now let me see what's going on here. Yeah, see, good as new. And that would have been a total tragedy, right? I'm making the video and oh no, somebody broke. So we'll get back to these in a moment, but I just have to be mindful of my spin space because, as you can see, it is very cramped. And when you are an avid toy collector like I am, been doing this since I was 3 years old. I will be 51 October 22nd, so it's been quite a while. But when we are getting to know your teacher, I'm going to learn a few little things about why I collect toys and the importance of imagination and how in my classroom toys will play at least some sort of role in our day-to-day existence, and how important it is to be creative. Now, if I can just keep the technical difficulties of people plopping over off of the shelf, we will be okay. We'll just sit this guy right there, and that ought to do it. So, I'll kind of stay to the side, see if I can't scoot down a little bit so I'm not quite in the way of so many toys, right? So, let me backtrack. Mr. Byers, James Matthew Byers, author, poet, father, and teacher. So, we'll get to the toys later. Introducing ourselves is important, and our thematic overview for A+ first 9 weeks is Who Am I? So, I'm showing you who I am. Never done this before. I tell my students about this stuff, but this year, I'm taking you all on a tour. We're going to see all the toys, what goes on in my life outside of the classroom. And before I do the rubber ducky toy review, which will be fun to show you guys and girls what I do aside from teaching, we're going to start with, sorry about the sniffles. It's a little dusty up here in my attic-y room, but love it, love it, love it. My first book from 2004 was Grecian Rune. If you look on the back, look at Baby Byers. Yes, look, he had hair. He had no beard. He looked like a baby. So this came out in 2004, and it's all Greek mythology, either things that I added or retold in rhyme. So this was my first publication by Publish America. a defunct publishing house, and I typically don't even mention that one because really I considered the true beginning of my publication with Beowulf, the Midgard epic, published by Stitch Smile Publications in 2016, a decade ago this summer. And I was fortunate enough to sign with this press, and they allowed me to do the illustrations and the cover art. This is Grendel's mother. A very, very, very exciting character for me personally. And, you know, you'll notice, we're going to talk about G.I. Joe in a little bit, but you'll notice that on her facial markings, she's got something similar to a character named Zartan. He's my favorite character in G.I. Joe, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But a few more illustrations from Beowulf, the Midgard epic. And again, this is on Amazon and Books of Me and Barnes & Nobles, all those places. But there's Grendel, the great beast. And again, it's all in rhyme. I'm not going to read a lot, but I would like for you to hear a little bit of how it sounds, okay? Let me go to the page before. It's spoken guardsman in his path. The Danes have met this creature's wrath, have been his harvest, worn his mark, and lived beneath the brooding dark. His terror brings amid the blight, and does so each and every night. Perhaps somewhere within my heart, when Hrothgar hunts throughout each part, a measurement to bring about a change and drive this devil out, can find him there, if anything, may thwart what ails your famous king. So, it's rewritten. It's the exact same Anglo-Saxon poem all the way many years back, but it's written in rhyming iambic tetrameter. So, second book. Then, I was published in the Stitch Smile anthology, Monsters vs. Zombies, which is a really fun anthology, a lot of different authors in here, and I had a neat little story about Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and a witch. And my last publication was in 2023, and it is a rhyming epic poem of my own creation. It is called Valkyria, and it is the Bard Song Saga. But the characters in this and a lot of the other things I showed you all are in my new novel, Quasir's Blood, and it's not rhyme, it's prose, something different, but don't want to go too deep into all that. I'm just kind of introducing you all to what I've written. And this, Jacksonville State University's poetry compilation, Something Else. I was also published in this as well, and that was in 2006 and 2007. So I've won numerous poetry awards, Alabama State Poetry Society. I've been in e-zines, magazines, things like that. So that's my writing credentials. So as a reading and English teacher, you know, if you ever thought, what can my teacher do? Now you can see I am a legitimate published author, poet, and artist. Next up, let's do a little story time. Now, I picked this book because A, it's fun, it's simple, and it's easy, and B, it is Dungeons and Dragons. 50 years ago, when I was born, this came out. Same thing is behind me. You might notice in a minute we'll look at some toys from the Star Wars saga. First movie I ever saw in theaters, probably why I love all this stuff you'll see around my room. So this is Dungeons and Dragons, The Adventure Begins. Once not so long ago, 6 friends went on an amusement park ride. The exciting Dungeons and Dragons ride. It had mechanical wizards, monsters, and dragons. Suddenly, everything around the friends began to twist and turn and swirl about them. I don't like this, one of them yelled just as they were pulled into a mystical realm. They couldn't believe it. Dungeons and Dragons was real, including the dragons. The friends found themselves near a duel between a 5-headed giant dragon. Pause for a second, and right behind me is that 5-headed dragon, Mother Tiamat herself. Oh, from Super 7. The friends found themselves near a duel between a 5-headed giant dragon, an evil sorcerer, and an impish magical being. Seeing that the children were in danger, the magical being cast a spell, transforming each of them one by one. By the way, these are little golden books for my boys and girls that are watching this video today. You probably have never heard of little golden books. Maybe you have. But me, growing up, these were what I read when I was a little kid and even as a young adult. Hank the Ranger was given a bow that fired arrows containing powerful glowing energy. He immediately used his new weapon to keep the dragon away from his friends. Bobby the Barbarian got a club that enhanced his strength so he could smash anything. A small, frightened unicorn who was also caught in the middle of the fight ran over to the young barbarian for protection. Bobby named her Uni. There's Bobby and Uni. And if you're wondering, students, why is Mr. Byers' YouTube channel called The Toybarian? It's also my Instagram, and it's because I'm a toy collector who loves barbarians. So I took toy and barbarian and I fused them together. It's a literary tool, and we'll talk about it one day in this class. A pointy green magic hat was bestowed on Presto the magician. He could pull anything out of it with the right spell. Sheila the thief got a cloak that made her invisible. It also made her movements whisper quiet. Diana the acrobat sprang into the air with a magical staff that increased her athletic abilities. Eric the cavalier was armed with a shield that deflected even the heaviest blows and the most potent blast of magic. The friends fled the fight, but the dragon followed them. "Who dares awaken me?" one of its heads screeched. Sheila ran to the mouth of a nearby cave and called out. The dragon turned to her, and she used her magical cape to disappear. Looking for its prey, the dragon walked into the cave. Bobby swung his club with all his might. Bam! Knocking a boulder down in front of the entrance. Ooh, the dragon was trapped. The magical being's name was Dungeon Master. He said that Tiamat, the five-headed dragon, and Venger, the evil one-horned sorcerer, inspired fear throughout the realm. The kids asked how they could get back home. Dungeon Master told them they might find a clue in the town of Helix. But he warned them about Venger, who could magically disguise himself. "You will know who he is by his white hair," he said. On the way to Helix, the kids discovered the floating castle of Merlin the magician. They hoped he could help them return home. "Someone's going to have to help us get up there," Hank said. And just like that, a golden ladder dropped from the clouds. Merlin welcomed the friends to his castle, but Sheila remembered Dungeon Master's warning and whispered, "He's got white hair." But the old magician laughed and lifted his hat. He was completely bald. His white hair was a wig. Just then, Tiamat attacked the castle. Merlin told the kids that nothing could escape from his dungeon, so they used their magical weapons to trick Tiamat into falling through the trap door in the floor. Now the dragon was locked up and couldn't do any harm. Merlin promised that he would put some thought into getting the kids home. But before he could do that, he needed an assistant to share all his magical knowledge with. He offered the job to Presto. The others couldn't believe it, but Presto said yes. "If Merlin's not going to help us, I say we get to that Helix place Eric said. The others wanted to wait for Presto, but Merlin told them they should continue on their journey to find the way back to their world. In the village of Helix, the kids struck up a conversation with the villagers, and much to their surprise, they learned that Merlin had been dead for 1,000 years. They realized the person they had met had not been who they thought. He was holding a white rabbit. When Venger appeared to them, he laughed. They all realized, a white hare, they said in union, and that really meant Merlin was, as they now knew, Venger. Back at the castle, Presto had tried to use a book of spells to find a way home, but it was just a trick by Venger. To the evil sorcerer's delight, Presto had accidentally released a swarm of terrible dragons that would destroy Helix. The kids raced back to the castle. Their only hope was to free Tiamat. That's a terrible idea, said Eric, but it worked. The five-headed dragon attacked Venger. You've won for now, Venger grumbled as he escaped. Tiamat smashed through the stone walls in pursuit of him. Ooh. Looking through Merlin's big book of magic, Presto quickly found the right spell to cast. In the name of Merlin, in the time of sorrow, banished winged demons, let there be tomorrow, he chanted. With those words and a poof of magic, the dragons disappeared. You did it, Hank shouted. The village was saved and Venger had been defeated. Everyone cheered. Their first adventure was over, but the friends realized that they would have many more adventures in the magical world of Dungeons and Dragons on their long journey home. They were ready. The end. What fun. So, little fun story. We're in a reading class. We're going to read to you guys from time to time. Now, let's do something really fun. Let's take a look at what we have in this box. So when I do toy reviews, which I haven't done any publicly, I've just done things like this for friends and people asking me questions. So this is my first official toy review video. So this is for Halloween Rubber Ducks. It is a 48 value pack. So let's look at some ducks. Whoa, look, we have a Franken duck monster. Frankenstein's monster duck. How funny. This guy is great. He's like a purple people eater kind of duck. Now, love the werewolf. Look at that texture. You know, no articulation, so nothing to talk about in the swivel, the head, whatnot. But these are just super fun. And guess what, guys and girls out there that are in Mr. Byers' classroom? We'll probably use these for some rewards. Oh, these are fun and cute. And it's really neat. Walmart sends me this stuff, I review it, and then I write the review, and they send me more stuff. I'm really excited. Oh, Grim Reaper duck. This will kind of come in handy. Our A+ course of study, third 9 weeks, The Book Thief When Death. The Grim Reaper is the narrator. Wow, we have the duck version. Woohoo! Little cute witch with a weird blacked out symbol. Kind of looks like almost like a Maximal symbol from Transformers Beast Wars. How interesting. Oh, creepy. Check out this Dracula duck. Ooh, he's really cool. There are 48 of these, and I don't want this video to be like 100 minutes long, so I'll show you guys a few more. But would I recommend this box? Absolutely. They're like $31 on Walmart.com. Worth every penny, I would say. These are fun if you're wanting to put them in your Halloween bag, trick or treats. Wow. And you'll notice some of them are very detailed. Like, look at this mummy duck right here and compare it to this mummy duck. See, it's a very neat discrepancy in styles and themes. So you get some of the ducks that are textured and very much more creature-like, and then you get the more traditional duckies that are cute, have their Halloween costumes on. So that's super fun. This one is probably my favorite. That is one creepy looking guy. He doesn't even have a duck. I mean, I don't even know what. That's like a, I don't know, a slug duck. It's really crazy. I love it. It's really fun. Another one-eyed creature, and this one is green instead of purple. Wow, fun spidery duck. There is also a bat duck. Thought that was kind of funny. And let's see if there's anything else, because we have one more thing we're going to pull out to review. Oh, another vampire duck. So there's really not a lot of the same, which is great. You get 48 almost all original pieces. Oh, now here's a cute little duck. And look, it is the Scream duck. It's the ghost face killer duck. And oh wow, this one's pretty wild. Look, that's a creepy little one-eyed duck, and it looks like its mouth is here and that's its nose. Very, very fun. And a nurse. A creepy nurse. Oh no, creepy nurse. Super duper. These are lots and lots of fun. So that again is trick or treat time ducks. These ducks are just Halloween rubber duck, and it's like 31 something with tax at Walmart. Great stuff. Now, I know a lot of my students out there, you probably have never heard of G.I. Joe. I wish you would. Now, like that I'm saying it, you will know, and knowing is half the battle. But as a Gen Xer, you know, in my classroom, you guys saw today, things you may not have recognized. We have He-Man and She-Ra. We use that in the Wildcat way with I Have the Power. We have our little Now I Know and Knowing is Half the Battle, which I just quoted from G.I. Joe. But I know most of you know the Ninja Turtles. So this is a really fun crossover that's happening right now. And it's from Playmates Toys, and it is G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles. Now this happens to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Snake Eyes Leo, and it is a Toga Razor. I mean, sorry, not Toka and Razor. Those are the two characters. Razor Timber, which Timber is Snake Eyes Wolf in the lore of G.I. Joe. So we're going to open this up and take a look at it, because I am super excited. When I was a kid, of course, I mentioned Zartan earlier. Zartan is my favorite character from G.I. Joe. But the ninjas, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and their story is something I really liked a lot. And throughout the school year, we will be looking at different things like this. Different characters from different story franchises. We do mythology. And I like to showcase that our stories, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, you know, you get it. Those are the mythologies of today. Marvel Comics, DC Comics. And they even include some of the ancient characters from the past, like Thor. If you know Thor, Thor is from Norse mythology. And we'll be looking at that at some point this year. All right, so here we go. And just for comparison, because I have all of the other turtles, I was really curious to see, are the Leos, and maybe they're not exactly the same. This is the original Leo minus the companion Razor and Timber, right? So you have here a combination of two fictional characters, Leonardo, the leader of the Ninja Turtles, and Snake Eyes, who is the commando and the ninja, a member of the Arishikage clan in G.I. Joe lore. So we're going to look at these side by side and make comparisons. So let's first go ahead and pop. Sorry about the noise. Woo, that's not fun, is it, guys? Oh, his little tail pops off. So let's move him out of the way. Pop his tail in. Oh, and look, here we have Timber, but it's Razor Timber. And very cool, his head moves. So this articulation, got the head, the legs, and then of course the tail. And it's really cool. He's got like this neat little place where Snake Eyes Leo can kind of put his hand down on him. Now, I love this particular. Snake Eyes has a semi-automatic, an Uzi, but it looks like to me in the Ninja Turtle version, it's like a big one of those massive like water guns or something. Love it so much. He comes with 2 swords, and they look like his typical katana blades. And again, sorry for the noise, but we're gonna rock this guy on out of this package. Woo. I'm gonna pay a little tribute to Kyle Peterson here. When he gets about, he goes, "See you later, goodbye." Woo. There you go, Kyle. Called you out in the video. Now, let's check out the 2 Leos. I'm gonna put the weapons in first so we can kind of have an accurate side-by-side and break them down and see what we got. Let's put this in here. Now, get the gun going in the same hand. And let's look at our Leos. First of all, let me tell you, his joints are smooth as butter. Like, I mean, just look at this. We got the double jointed knees. You got, see, I think these guys, you got double jointed elbows. Like, you can touch the chin. Like, just the posability alone in these figures is insane. I love the things that you can do with this figure and all these figures. But let's actually take a close look. And I think this is the exclusive. This is the non-exclusive. Now, the lighting in my room is not the best, but it looks more like on the San Diego Comic-Con one, there's a wash, like a black wash over his blue, highlighting it better. And then the traditional one is more of the, you know, cartoony, I would say, or just less detailed. This one, you get, like, I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but on the knee pad versus the solid blue, there you can kind of see it, even in the shade. So there is a difference. I thought they were exactly the same Leonardo. They really basically are. This guy, the mask flips up and you get a really cool look there to it. So now this arm is a little bit tight. Let me make sure I don't hurt it. Okay, there we go. Just making sure. So many times, how I don't know about you other toy collectors, but never fails that moment where I decide to be brave and like push my luck. I snap an elbow, break a joint at the shoulder, any of those kind of things that can happen. So that's a lot of fun, being cautious, right? We have to be cautious because these toys aren't cheap. And that's one thing I will say to you guys and girls. If you have a hobby, make sure you got a good job to back it up, because what you're going to see now is a little bit of my collection. And let me just put this to the side. And so, because we've opened the toy, and now we're going to just kind of turn, because I learned that iPhone will not let me turn without messing the video up. And so I'm not fancy. I'm just Matt Byers, Mr. Byers, Toybarian, making toy video here and teaching my kids a little bit of fun and about how to show who you are. So I can't go much deeper than this, but you'll see here a range of different toys. I custom stuff. You'll notice if my students are, you see this, there's extra stuff on this Yoda Transformer. I added Dreadnought tattoos. That's a story for another day. But you can see the many characters. And over there, you can see my collector's case number 1. Have my artwork hanging up on the wall. These are characters from my upcoming novel. And see, there's another piece of art. And we'll kind of maneuver around here. Oh, want to make sure I show you this guy. This is the Red Demon from Big Bad Workshop. He is Operation Monster Force and really cool. Like you'll see here, some of my characters in the back, and then some other characters just kind of cropped together. And tomorrow when I'm showing you guys this, I'll go through and kind of break it down. But Boss Fight Studios, Skeleton Warriors, Dinosaurs, Masters of the Universe, Origins, and a lot of customs that are characters from my book. And the last section here, we have Masters Universe and Thundercats, which we are the Tarrant Wildcats. So I love Thundercats, always have. And we are at the school where these guys are like our mascots. Notice the Thundercats And behind them, the Transformers He-Man crossover. Ninja Turtle He-Mans, Ninja Turtles, and Transformers. Lots of crossovers. Well, now, before I go any further, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for, if you stuck with this and you're not a student, you're a trooper. It's a 30-minute video, and it's just me rambling, right? This is just to showcase what interests and hobbies are like. A lot of my kids are like, what's an interest? What's a hobby? A hobby or an interest is this, collecting toys, right? All these different action figures are a part of who I am. They inspire me to write my own creative stories, give me ideas for what things should look like stylistically, and quite frankly, just a lot of fun. Now, up here is a Star Wars gem of mine. It's a Dave Dorman autographed Boba Fett. You'll notice some retro Star Wars. Again, Star Wars was my first thing. And these are the main characters, Myth and Nero, the goblins, and Valkyria, who's one of the main characters for my upcoming book. But another day for that as well. And let's see. Oh, one more thing. If you like Godzilla, this is my Godzilla display. It's kind of got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to have to organize a little better, but you can kind of get the gist. This one's a lot of Godzilla and Marvel and Dungeons and Dragons. Now, when we do this assignment, you all will have a piece of paper at your desk. You will follow the directions, and what you're seeing in my video is what you're going to use your words to describe. I want you to make me see in my head what you've said on your paper. For all of you guys and girls out there in YouTube land, thank you so much for sticking through to the end. My students, you made it to this part. We have 20 minutes left in this class, and then we're on to the next section. Next class you'll write. From the Toybarian, James Matthew Byers. Have a wonderful evening, and see you all next time. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on that notification. Bye-bye.